Well, good evening and welcome. Welcome back to IIRL Racing League on Twitch. Live on here 4 times a week. Back for race 2 this week. As you can see, we are at Monza. And if Tuesday night was anything to go by, I'm sure we're going to have a great race ahead of us once again this evening. Hope you're all well, and I hope your week is going really nicely at this stage. Hey Pats, how you doing, man? I hope you're well. Hope you're having a good day. Thank you for the follow 1 minute ago, WABY. Appreciate that, man. Hope you're well. Hope you're enjoying the stream. If you're new around it, say hi, why not? We don't bite. Thank you for the follow, Pats, as well. Appreciate that, mate. As we said, 4 streams a week. Tuesday night, no assist tier 1. Thursday night tonight, assist tier 1. So all these drivers are allowed to use any combination of assists. Of course, if they don't run assists, they can still be a part of this group. Saturday night we have F2. And Sunday night join us for assist tier 2. Every race this week will be at the same track. Round 9 of 13. So 5 races left of the season. And Ross is leading the championship. However, perhaps the one to look out for tonight. I'm just going to double check if he is here. Is he here? He's not here this week. So, not one to look out for today, but one to look out for in the future is Adrian. He has the most points in the last 2 races, and that's saying something because John B has been racing too. John B we like to call an alien here. Ross still leads the championship. He has 112 points, 6 ahead of PLATTYYY, who has 3 pre-podiums in his last 4 races. So PLATTYYY having a nice mid-season. Ross has had a couple of 9th place finishes, and that is why the gap has shrunk. Platty has had better finishes as well in the last few races, and he is only 10 points off the top, but he'll need to turn that around if he wants a chance at taking the title. John B. 4 races this season, 4 podiums, 2 firsts and 2 seconds. He's 4th in the championship, but still has 23 points to catch up if he wants to retain his title this season. Adrian, as we said, is in 5th in the championship with a 1st place in Britain 2 weeks ago, a 2nd place last week in Belgium, and 2 fastest laps to add to his tally. So that is where we're at in terms of the championship standings. It's very close at the top between Ross, PLATTYYY and Platty. John B will be joining, hopefully, during qualifying. He said he would. So I have to wait and see. Obviously, full grid tonight, I believe. Always nice to see. Attendance tends to drop slightly towards the release of the new game. Nice to see so many drivers here tonight. Love the content. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. You're very kind. We do our best. We should be having a new streamer for Thursday nights. So possibly next week onwards, you'll have a new streamer, and I'll let him introduce himself when he starts. Thank you for the follow, J. Bloisy. I don't know if I've butchered that, but he is a new driver, currently in P13, as you can see on the screen, out on track for his very first lap. Platty will take us on a track tour of this beautiful Monza circuit, which has never left our side really in terms of Formula 1. Careful of the curves at turn 1 and 2. Easy to throw your car off, and careful on the acceleration on the exit. Turn 3, curve de grand, flat out. Not much steering needed. You can go side by side through there in the race. Difficult braking spot into turn 4 and 5, especially if you're going side by side with another car in there. Again, careful of the curbs. They can destroy your car and make you fly off into the distance. Into the first Lesmo, right-hander. Sets you up beautifully for the second one, which you can cut a little bit there. Platty demonstrating beautifully. Bit of DRS down to very famous Ascari chicane, where again you can take some curb, but careful on that one on the right hand side. Will throw your car off a little bit, and don't cut the left one too much on the exit. No DRS towards the final corner, known as Parabolica, and Run-em-Up has retired, and I believe that's coming out of the first Lesmo. You can see in Sector 2 there is a yellow flag there, and Platty sets the benchmark on a 20.4, and we'll see if... yeah, well there you have it, luck. That is where he's crashed. Unfortunately he'll be starting at the back of the field. Early retirement in Q1. And Luck's even chatting in voice chat. Maybe he's not happy. Jake Sharrock almost joining him. Could have been 2 out in the space of 2 minutes there. Just saw got a little bit over the curb there through Ascari. That is the trouble. You try and go too fast through there, and there's not much time to react. Jake might go again here. Just depends on if he has damage. There you go, he goes for another run, and we'll join Snacks on his lap. And thank you for the follow to Rosie Lois. Appreciate that. 4 new follows tonight, so appreciate them all. We are inching closer to 400 followers. Just 2 more to go. Good evening, Tucker. Have fun? Of course I will. I love not only watching the action, but calling the action. Snacks goes second fastest. Nice lap there as well. 1 minute 20.8. I don't think we saw anyone drop into the 19s on Tuesday night. So, currently Platty's time of 1 minute 20.4 is looking pretty good. Safe to assume we'll almost guarantee his spot in Q2 already. Ripley's using the medium compound tyres, so doesn't want to use it in Q2. Looking good. Oh, thank you. Didn't know you know what it looked like, but thank you. I'm joking, obviously. Evening, Patch. Hope you're well, mate. So then, Ripley, medium tyres won't be as quick as the rest of the pack. Jake Sharrock, by the way, has gone second fastest in the last few moments. Ripley with a 21.8, not too bad on those medium compound tyres. I'd say the mediums here is about 1 second slower than the soft, so Ripley's pace probably similar to Snacks at the moment. Ross goes second fastest with a 20.5, just inches ahead of Jake Sharrock. And Mr. Wiggles pops in there 1 millisecond slower than Jake Sharrock and pops himself into P4. No one on the lap so far. We've got one of the very newest people to our league. We've got a few new debutants here tonight. As I say, we got Loisy 21, if I'm pronouncing that right. Mr. Colucci in 17th, he's new as well. And we got Kripik. And Ripley has crashed. There you can see it, Sector 2, yellow flag, Sector 3 even. He has crashed at the exit of Ascari Chicane. And Ripley will not be taking part in Q2. Terminal damage on the car. It means even if your lap time is quick enough for 14th as he is at the moment, you won't be able to drive in Q2. So for those who haven't set a lap time, you definitely need to get a banker on the timing screen. Make sure that they are ahead of Ripley. That's on the street. That's my pleasure, mate. My pleasure. There was a gap. I was happy to fill it. I was back from Nando's in time, so we're all good. Caris pops into 7th, 21.5, just behind John Pant. Got Greg and Hyper super close, few hundredths between them two. FB Uno 22.3 at the moment, propping up the leaderboards. Kripik with a 21.8 puts himself in a nice little fight there with Greg and Hyper around the bottom end of the top 10. So Deflated Wee goes second fastest and makes it now top 5 within 2/10 of each other. Could be in for a very competitive night this evening. And good evening, TD. Hope you're well. Haven't seen TD in a while. How's the new job, mate? But that little bit wide there at the end of Ascari. Should be able to just back off, go for another run. We'll join one of the newbies, 2 of them out on laps right now. Loisy and Colucci. See where their first flying laps of IIRL will put them. Bullet does go for another run, completes what in the end was a slow lap. Padge is also out on a flyer as well, so this leaderboard is going to get a bit more tidy in a few moments' time. Hyper has also crashed out, I believe. His time has gone to the bottom. So, with only 18 here at the moment, and 3 have crashed out, it means that pretty much everyone is safe, should they get a clean lap in. Loisy puts in a 22.1. Bullet actually needs to improve, because he's currently now in the drop zone with a 134.8. So he needs to improve. His teammate Colucci goes 8th fastest. Puts himself within John Pan and Akaris. Not too bad. And now Padge as well has dropped into that zone. So pressure now on Padge and Bullet to go a little bit quicker. Doesn't need to be the best lap they've ever done in their life, but if they can beat FB Uno on a 22.3, they should be safe. Just a reminder that I stink, thank you. To be fair, I haven't been told it in a while, so I needed that reiteration, so I appreciate that, man. Joking, TD stink too. Kripik, nice lap. Second run for him. Goes just slower than Snacks up into P7. So, decent pace. And Kripik. Padge goes 11th fastest. FB Uno now is thrown into the lion's den. TD has joined, so that I assume that means John B can't make it for whatever reason. So TD, whenever you do your lap, just remember I will be watching. FB Uno pushes himself safe which now pushes Bloisy into the drop zone. A little bit of lag perhaps for Bloisy. Matching his personal best in Sector 1, just a fraction slower, but plenty of time to make up in this next two sectors. The first sector pretty much is just a straight line and a chicane, so it's hard to gain too much time in Sector 1. Sector 2 and 3 is where you're going to gain the most time. An exciting quali. It is very close, and this is just Q1. Bloisy has invalidated. TD is also here, and TD, can't remember the last time he has actually raced with us, so be interesting to see where TD's pace will be. It was pretty good, and Kemments now is joining, so everyone now is here. Obviously for TD and Kemments, they need to get in their car, pick a setup, get out as soon as they can. Only 3 minutes 45. So, for instance, 2 drivers now will be dropping out who haven't already crashed. Run 'em at Luck, Ripley and Hyper will already be dropping out. Obviously, Bullet, Bloisy need to beat the targeted lap time to make it through, but now Kemments and TD, the pressure is on. They need to get a good lap in, and they need to make sure it's clean. Top 10, top 11 I reckon, probably all be safe on a 21.5 or below. TD's out on track. Kemments, I imagine, will be following suit in a few moments' time. We've also got Bloisy out on track too, hoping to push themselves out of the danger zone. FBU no Greg, Padge, all could be at risk here. Greg is now back out on the track. Final 2.5 minutes left of the session. Remember, if you want to start a flying lap, you need to get there before the timer hits 0. And then once it hits 0, you can finish the lap you're on. Wiggles is retired, but he should be pretty safe up there in P5, so nothing to worry about for him. Bullet now. My old teammate. Very quick driver. Had a very strong performance, winning on track in Bahrain in the season opener. Hasn't had that kind of success for the rest of the season, but shows that he does have pace and should never be counted and written off. But he needs a good lap here. TD also on a flyer. FBU is staying in the pits, as is Padge, so might need a bit of good fortune to avoid the drop in Q1. 5 drivers out on track now looking to improve. Bullet is 3.5 seconds up, but obviously he needs a bit more if he wants to push himself into Q3. But he did lose a lot of the time in Sector 3. So this definitely should be quicker. No doubt expecting Bullet to get through here, possibly a high 20. It's a mid 21, currently P12. Might be good enough, just have to wait and see. TD has backed off this attempt, so we'll join Bloisy, who is 1/10 up in Sector 1. Needs a 3/10 improvement if he wants to push FBU down. 4 or 5/10 improvement could see him jump ahead of Greg and Bullet, respectively. The trigger button isn't working properly. Properly. So can't accelerate with confidence. That is so annoying. You've had wheel problems and now pad problems. As Bloisy makes it through. Nice lap under pressure. P8 for him. And someone else has improved. Someone else just jumped up. TD's popped in a lap, but it is slower. He's got one more attempt. Kement's coming through Sector 2 now. Greg improved, by the way, P8 for him. So both Alpines into the top 9. Almost identical times, so that could be a nice little fight tonight. Kement's, Bullet and TD on laps. Pressure's on. FB Uno has unfortunately dropped out. His lap time was 1/10 slower than Hyper's, so that's why he isn't ahead of Hyper right now. Bullet's into the pits, so he might be at risk here. If TD and Kement's can get good laps in, Bullet might be dropping out in Q1. Kement's goes 8th fastest and puts himself through to Q2. What about TD? He's invalidated. So even though this looks like a good lap, there's a 120.9 which would have put him in 7th or 8th place. So TD would have made it through had it not been for that invalidation. And Bullet breathes a massive sigh of relief. Loisy making the good escape there. Gets himself through. All 3 debutants between P7 and P12 tonight, so fitting in nicely to the group, it would seem. So they have it, confirmation. Hyper, FB Uno, Ripley, TD, Runner Luck. Dropping out of Q1. But look at that, top 15, only 1.25 seconds separating them. Those top 5 though, could they be the ones to challenge for pole position here tonight? Could Snacks or Kripik come into the picture later on? Who knows? Just have to join us to find out. Great Davies from the future of the league. I love that phrase. Yeah, we probably should have a ruler that we... like a bot, a Discord bot that we can slap people's wrists with. By the way, it was a 21.3. What? Your lap time, Ripley, was a 21.3. I've got 21.8 here. I'll check race director. See if that says anything. That's what race director says. So obviously you were 3 and a bit tenths up. Probably 3 tenths up on your lap, so you're on for a 21.5 before you unfortunately bit the dust in Ascari. And hopefully everyone's ready and up. I think even if you crash out, you still need to press advance at the end of a session. So fingers crossed. That happens, there we go. Ah, I see. It was 0.420, of course it was. Of course it was 0.420. I knew that joke when I saw it. Who did we lose in the session? So in Q1 we lost Hyper, FBU no, Ripley, TD, and Runner Matluck. And as Q2 starts, this is where strategy takes centre stage. First out on track, we have Snacks. Obviously, if you are new around here and you are new to F1, these rules aren't in effect right now until the new game. But for the top 10 that make it through to Q3 from this session, whatever compound of tyres they use here, they have to use in the race. So if they set their fastest lap time on a medium and qualify 8th, you have to start the race on that set of mediums. However, if you qualify on the soft tyre here, in the top 10, you must start the race on that same set of soft tyres. Hopefully I've explained that reasonably well. And already, in the first couple of minutes, we've got 12 drivers out on track. And 13 and 14 are going to be joining them very shortly, just coming out of the pits now. Snacks, first of 6 drivers on the medium compound tyres. Obviously the mediums are going to be slower than the softs. They don't give as much grip in a lap, but they last longer during the race. Padge. Yeah, what's the give us a troubleshoot, Padge, on the way your pad is working or not working. Said you had throttle problems. Fingers crossed they don't last. Snacks nice through Ascari. Nice cockpit cam through that. Everyone on a flyer right now with the exception of Padge and Platty. So this timing screen is going to get very busy in the next 30 seconds. Snacks sets the benchmark at a 1:21.6. Kari's beats him by 6 milliseconds. Bullet is into the 20s after just making it through with a 21.6 last session. Kripik, Akaris' teammate, jumps onto the second row as it stands at 1:21.0. John Pant with a 21.4 and Mr. Wiggles on the mediums with a 21.5. Ross, that's a bit of a slow lap from him on the medium tyres, a 23.2. He'll go again, I imagine, in a few moments' time. Kemmons sets a lap time 3 milliseconds quicker than Akari's to put in P5 at the moment, and the car in front, I believe that is Padge, just starting his lap as well. Deflated Wee goes third fastest, 21.3 for him on the medium tyres. That's a decent lap. May get through on that lap time on the medium tyres, just depends how many use the softs in the second half of the session. Mr. Colucci goes 6th fastest, somehow separating Wiggles and Kemmons, and Jake Sharrett goes fastest overall in the session using the soft compound tyres on 20.8. Not the fastest we've seen this week, but pretty good. Snacks on his second run on those medium tyres goes 4th fastest. Brilliant lap there from Snacks. 21, we're going to say a 21.2, as Padge just runs over that exit curve at Ascari, and that hard work, unfortunately for him, is gone. PLATTYYY using the medium compound tyres, but backing off his run. Loisy with a 22.3, currently propping up the leaderboard at the bottom of the valid runners. However, still plenty of time to get an improved lap time on the board. You press leave by accident. Surprised you got in the lobby, TD. Greg has come back into the pits after his first run, so maybe an issue there, and there's a yellow flag in sector 3. Oh, it's Padge testing the curbs at turn 4. Might have to get a clip of that. That was a nasty yeah, that was a nasty bump there from turn 4 curb. It's very entertaining to watch from my perspective, but obviously when you're driving it, pain in the proverbial butt cheeks. It's been a long time. Also, Smelly Tim, I want lots of coverage in the race. I'll tell you what, I'll spectate on the formation lap to check if you're lagging or not, because I know you're asking in Discord. So I will do that for you. I'll do you a solid. Now, Ascari is one of those complex of corners where actually you might be able to get away with cutting a track or extending track limits. We did see on Tuesday night a lot of people use that runoff and just sort of extend it as much as they can, come in at the last moment, and the game actually doesn't give you an invalid lap time. So they have to be careful, the drivers. Perhaps they know about it, perhaps they don't. Platty goes 7th fastest, puts himself in the middle of a 6-car medium sandwich. Does look a little bit like a soft medium soft sandwich right now. Rippick on another lap. 21.0. Nice benchmark. Can he push it further, get into the 20s? Maybe extend the gap to Jake Sharrock at the top of the standings. A couple of tenths to the good. Looking pretty good so far. Currently due on for a P2. If it were to finish like this. Yes, last to first challenge. Run 'em at luck is last, so you can't do a last to first challenge. Sorry to say. Rippick goes 2nd fastest, nice improvement there. 1.5 tenths. And we'll join on board with Greg, who is using the medium tyres. Wiggles back out on track. I imagine he's got a set of soft tyres on. He's currently 9th fastest. Greg lagging a little bit. Nice and steady, nice and smooth through the 2nd Lesmo corner. So 54.2 through sector 2 split, and I'd love to tell you what that means, but I don't. We'll have to find out where he finishes together. If your connection is bad, you'll leave. Okay. Just play it by ear. See how it works. So Greg on the mediums, 21.8 in the drop zone as things stand. Mr. Wiggles, as predicted, using the soft tyres. Perhaps a little bit unlucky that his time was only 9th and potentially not 5th like Ross. He's only 1/10 quicker, but finds himself 4 places higher. In all honesty, TD, I've never been called a willy in the last year, so thank you. Platty back out on track, as is Ross. Both of them setting benchmarks on medium tyres, so I imagine both of them might be out on the soft tyres. Of course, you don't want to ruin whatever set your fastest lap time is on, so using a new set of tyres here is a smart move. Wiggles on a 21.4, he's half a second up in sector 2 split. That's going to drop him into the 20s, and I would not be surprised at all if this went purple in a few moments' time. Bullets back out on track, Padge back out on track. Wiggles goes fastest with a 20.4, 1 second quicker. That will definitely get Mr. Wiggles through. What about Wiggles' teammate Platty? What can he do? Of course you don't know the splits because you're slow. Everything within me trying not to call TD a really bad name now. Ross, Bullet, both on flying laps now. Platty, 1 and a bit tense up in sector 1. Good start. So anyone in the 1 minute 20s are pretty much safe in this session. Unless everyone finds some speed juice somewhere and manages to really improve their times. Platty, really good sector 2. Almost 3/4 of a second up now. This is definitely going to be challenging Wiggles for P1. Even the car race, hope you are, mate. Currently in P12. Only a couple of tenths improvement and would be safe in Q3 as things stand, but obviously there are a load of people going to be improving tonight. Platty goes quickest, look at that, 120.1, as Ross goes second fastest. Bullet has backed off his time, so no improvement this time around. What about Snacks coming through sector 2? He's a tenth to the good in the first sector. Pushing the track limits nicely there, but not going too far wide and getting invalid. 4 tenths in sector 2. Should be good enough to challenge Jake Sharrock for P4. Mr. Wiggles retiring in the pits, thinking that lap time is good enough for him. One minute 30 left. It's now or never. Snacks goes third fastest. 3 milliseconds ahead of Mr. Wiggles. Nice lap there. What about Greg? What can he do? Original lap time was on mediums. 10th to the good in the first sector. Greg under a little bit of pressure here. Will get around for another lap if he wants it, but he'll be hoping and praying that this lap is good enough to get him through to Q3. Nice improvements from Greg in sector 2. Might need a little bit more. Clements' time, 121.4 is the one to beat. However, he is out on track. Everyone in the bottom 7 or 8 positions is out on track. Padge up to 7th with his lap. Nice lap there from Padge. Clements improves to 5th. Deflated-Wy is now the one to beat. Greg is now the one to beat. Squeezes himself into the top 10. Bullet goes third fastest, and that should pretty comfortably see him through. John Pant lost a bit of time in sector 1 on his last flying run of the session. We've got Colucci and Bloisy out on track too. Deflated-Wy will be looking to get back into the top 10. Colucci gets into the top 10 and squeezes Greg out as it stands. Corris will start 15th on the grid. Bloisy improves, but not by enough, and finishes in 11th place as things stand. Although Deflated-Wy is on a lap. John Pant, can he make it through? No, it's a small improvement, but it's not by enough. That sector 1 losing a couple of tenths there really hurt John Pant. Otherwise, he may have been super close to getting through here. So John Pant starting 14th on the grid for the race. Deflated now gaining time on his lap, getting a nice toe there from Bullet down the back straight. Deflated a shot in Q2, and he gets it, 20.6, pushing Mr. Colucci out. And Greg, that is all she wrote for that lap. Super close there between Jake Sharrock down to Greg. Only a few tenths separating 6 drivers, and in the end, it was a 1 minute 20 that you needed to get through. At 1:21.0 from Mr. Colucci, not quite enough on this occasion. And there you have it. Depends when the rain comes. I missed that. You're typing so quickly in chat, I missed the fact that you said there's going to be rain. So top 10 all separated by just 3/4 of a second, in between a 1 minute 20.1 and a 20.9. Those dropping out are debutants Mr. Colucci and Bloisy on row 6. Row 7 we Greg and John Pant. Kari's 15th on the grid. Of course, all of those 5 drivers have a new set of tyres at their disposal. They can choose medium or soft, or even hard compound tyres if they want. As for the top 10, a shot at pole position is on the horizon. Soft's going to do 15 to 18 laps easy with proper pressure. Did it on Tuesday. Pad hack. I think you've been sandbagging, Padge. So eventually we will get our screen to go through to Q3. In Q1 there was 5 drivers at the top. After Q2, well, it could be 6, maybe 7 if you count Deflated could be in with a shot at pole position. 20.1 from Platty, the fastest we've seen this week. Will that kind of lap time be enough for pole position in a few moments' time? Lots of people in chat. You can see the question in the title. Who would you love to see return to F1 tomorrow? Let's get your suggestions in the chat. I know a few people mentioned on Tuesday night. Some different people in the chat here tonight, so let us know. Any other racing driver, doesn't have to be a previous Formula 1 driver, could be anyone. You could have anyone back in Formula 1. Who would it be and why? Yes, it is Japan next week. You'd You'd like to see Jensen? I'd like to see Jensen. Jensen is my favourite F1 driver of all time. Niki Lauda. Interesting to see how Lauda would fit in with these new breed of drivers. Finally, we are getting through to Q3. Jos Verstappen. Imagine Jos versus Max. Gosh, I imagine Max would school Jos. So that'd be interesting. I'd like to see Ricciardo versus Jack Brabham. Best of Australia. That'd be quite cool to see. You want to see Michael Schumacher versus Hamilton for an 8th title? That would be a good watch as well. I imagine loads of people would tune in for that, even if they didn't even follow Formula 1. Be like the two GOATs. Imagine Senna in this era, or Prost. Well, Senna was great in the wet. We actually do have some very good wet weather drivers in Formula 1 today. Obviously Hamilton, George Russell. You can forget performance at Belgium last year. Got third on the grid, or was it second? Either way, got a podium. Saw a video of what each championship would look like with the current point scoring. Prost would have 7 titles, Lewis 7, Schumacher 6. Interesting. I think a lot of people discount Senna because of just how many years he wasn't racing for, due to the tragedy at Imola. It would be interesting to see how long Senna could carry on racing for. Obviously Hamilton's been going 15 years now. Yeah, indeed. Lauda and Hunt's story. You could never recreate it. Imagine Hamilton versus Schumi in ROC. Ross a little bit too deep there into turn 1 as he starts the first flying lap of Q3. Platty still in the pits, following the trend that he perhaps started in Q2. He was late to go out, it didn't matter too much in the end. Ended up setting the fastest lap time. Platty will be hoping for a similar outcome. Ross taking as much curb as he dares through second Lesmo corner. Nice and committed through Ascari. Didn't throw it in too hot over that right hand curb. Instead allowed the right hand curb to shape his exit. So wait and see what his lap time says in response to that. You do see a lot of drivers now taking a nice tight line through Parabolica. Usually the racing line is to drift out wide, and it's a 20.6 from Ross. What about Kemmets? It's a 21.0. Jake Sharrock, 20.1. Similar to what Platty did in Q2. Deflated Wheat goes second and Snacks goes third ahead of Ross. Bullock goes third fastest, only 6 milliseconds behind Deflated Wee. This is a very competitive division, ladies and gentlemen. Wiggles, a bit of a slower time for his first, getting a banker on the board, just in case. 21.2 for him. Ripik 21.6, but we know he can go faster than that. Did a 20.9 in Q2. Padge, a little bit too much curb there at turn 5 perhaps. Platty is now out on track, coming around the parabolic, and now the final corner, ready to start his first run of Q3. And he'll know that Jake Sharrock has done what he did in Q2. So the pressure is now on Platty. Jake Sharrock, meanwhile, has crashed at Ascari. Padge almost following him. So Jake Sharrock, he's currently on provisional pole, but his opportunity at decreasing his time is gone. Deflated on a second lap does a 20.2 and goes third fastest before Snacks pops in there with a shocker of a lap, a 20.1, puts himself on provisional pole, and I don't think we did expect Snacks to be up there, but no one expected Snacks to pull that out of the bag. The game is on. Obviously Jake Sharrock can't improve now, so this could be down to Snacks, Deflated and possibly Platty if he can do the same lap he did in Q2. Feel like you're going to be slow this race. Well, you never know. A few laps, you'll get into the rhythm, and you never know. Keep it on the track, don't get any penalties. Late safety car comes out, could jump a few places, you never know. Platty, it's a 24. 24, a 20.4. So not quite as good as his Q2 time, however, still puts himself P4 right now, ahead of the Bullet. Round 1 goes to Snacks. No one's beaten your lap record. Yeah, since the performance patch, the cars are a little bit slower, so unfortunately a lot of our IIRL records won't be beaten this season or last season, but possibly in the new game, just depends. Kripik is half a second up. That'll be good enough for P8 as it stands. A bit more and he'll drop into the 20s. Second chicane and Ascari are dangerous. They are very dangerous, you need to be careful. Curbs are brutal on this track. Just about how you manage it, the line you take through them, how much courage and boldness you decide to take through them as well. Kripik does almost an identical lap to his time in Q2. It's good enough for 7th place at the moment. Now Mr. Wiggles back out on track. Platty's second attempt is a 20.3. It's a 1.5 improvement, but it's not an improvement on his place. Still 2/10 shy of Snacks's provisional pole lap time. Definitely going to fly off some curbs tonight. I've done that before. It's actually quite entertaining when you fly off the curbs. Get some air in a Formula 1 car. So Wiggles had a banker on the first lap. Not as good as we know he can be. However, still should not be written off here. Definitely could find himself in the top 5 or even better come the end of the session. Snacks, Bullet, Ross back out on track. Kripik coming back into the pits, as is Platty. Both of them still have opportunities to come back out on the brand new set of tyres if they want. Nice and steady there from Wiggles. Padge back out on track 2. Oh, but a slight mistake in the first Lesmo, had to get out of the throttle. And this lap is definitely not going to be up there with the top 2 or 3. Might still have significant improvement. Still half a second up, which is decent. Needs a mighty last sector. Almost running off, but keeping it valid. Ross starting a lap. Cummins back out on track 2 and Deflated Wee, Snacks and Ross going through sector 2 now. So Wiggles 7/10 improvement, pops himself over to 6th place, nice lap. Oh, the small mistake in the first Lesmo, which Snacks is navigating now. 2 minutes left of Q3. Enjoy your last season in 82, Snacks, yeah. I concur with that. And Snacks is going even quicker. He's due for a 1 minute 19, which would be absolutely unbelievable in these cars. PLATTYY out on track, Kripik back out too. Snacks, can he go into the 19s? Yes, he can. It's a 19.8. And, well, I can't see many people beating that. Ross had a chance. He goes 1 millisecond out of Platty up into 4th place. Platty's back out on track, so he'll reply to that in a minute or so. Can't wait for Brazil in a couple of weeks. Brazil is a good track. I will be back for Brazil, actually. I won't be here next week for streams, unfortunately. Bullet is retiring from the session. 6th place is the best he can hope for. Here comes Kripik around the final corner to start a brand new lap. Yeah, I'm off on holiday next week, so if you don't hear my voice, that's where I am. I'll be back for Brazil in 2 weeks' time. Indeed, what a lap. Clements, half a second up. Due to match Mr. Wiggles is 120.5 at the moment. Needs a good last sector. Ross coming round the final corner. Is he on a lap or is he going to put it into the pits? Ross goes second fastest, 20.1. Good improvement from Ross, right at the death. Snacks comes into the pits. He won't be able to improve. But goodness me, a 119.8 is a mighty effort. Clements goes 6th fastest on a 20.4. Who else is on an improvement? Mr. Wiggles, 3/10 up through Sector 2. This is a much better lap than the mistake we saw earlier on through the first Lesmo corner. It's due for a top 4. Can it be a top 3? It's 3rd fastest. Nice lap there, and only 6 milliseconds away from the front row of the grids. Kripik has invalidated his lap time. No improvement will be from Kripik at the moment. Platty coming through Ascari now. He is slightly down on his personal best in Sector 2. Platty, can he get improvement? He can, but it's not quite enough to get ahead of PLATTYY, who through Sector 1 is matching his personal best. In Sector 2, he is down, so he's obviously had some kind of issue on his lap. What about Clements? Oh, he's sliding through the final corner, and obviously no improvement for him. Ross coming into the pits. And that is all she wrote. Snacks with an incredible lap time there, 1 minute 19.8. Pulling it out of the bag when it mattered. 2 great lap times in the last half of this session. He will start on pole position for the Italian Grand Prix in about 5 minutes' time. Ross on Ron alongside Snacks. And Wiggles and Jake Sharrock, who crashed early on in the session. Well, Jake potentially could have been the one to challenge Snacks in the 19s, but that's all just speculation. Still, Jake relieved, I'm sure, to still get a P4 after crashing. PLATTYY and Platty on row 3. Clements and Bill at row 4, and Kripik having a nice debut, qualifying P9 in his first ever IIRL race here tonight. Padge starts 10th on the grid, making it 2 Aston Martins in the top 10. So there you have it, Snacks. Way too quick for 82. Best believe, mate, you will be moving up. Oh, invalidated at Scary. Easily done. Kripik. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I have to say, impressive debut here tonight. Even Snacks is surprised how he did a time that quickly. Boo break. Patsoy says that. Excuse me, Fwench. And the skies have taken a dramatic turn. Blazing sunshine has turned to overcast skies. A little bit of mist in the air. Tricky looking down towards turn 1. Rain possibly happening 15 minutes into this race, which might mean that it's a set of soft tyres for everyone until the rain comes. Maybe. Oh, and someone's readied up too soon. Wonder who that could be. Possibly one of the new drivers. Usually we have a 5-minute break before we start, so people can choose their setup strategies, fuel loads. Oh no, it's FBU now. He's been here a while. Apologies to any debutants I may have offended there by assuming. Anyways, hopefully everyone has got everything they need in terms of fuel, tyres and the like. 20 runners here tonight, a full grid. And here are tyre strategies. Obviously the top 10 have to start on the soft tyre. We knew that already from the end of Q2. Free tyre choice from 11th place downwards. Colucci, mediums. Bloisy on the softs. Greg is on the mediums. John Pant and Akaris, soft compound tyres for them. Hyper on the mediums, and FB Uno, Ripley and TD all on the soft compound tyres. Run them at luck at the very back of the field on the medium compound tyres. Watch you. Thank you, TD. TD somehow was dropped behind Run them at luck on the formation lap. I love watching people on the formation lap, how they warm their tyres. Make sure not to fall too far back, TD. You're going to listen to stream and race. What a dude. What a dude. I can't do that, my attention span isn't quite good enough for that. From what I'm seeing, TD, no lag at all. Which means that somehow your serial box connection is fixed. A slight twitch there on my screen, but nothing to worry about, TD. You're all good, mate. So then, for everyone in the chat, let's get your predictions. Who's going to be on the podium? Get them in nice and soon. There is a threat of rain, so those on a slightly more hybrid setup between dry and wet may benefit further in the race. Safety cars obviously can come out and change the shape of the race. And of course, when you pit for the wet tyres, whatever lap you nail it on could be what wins the race for you too. And here we go. Snacks leads us away in Monza for 81. Held at the lights a long time, and Snacks gets a poor start, and Ross is into the lead already. Behind there is carnage. Ripley and Hyper crashing out. Well, not crashing out, but crashing into the wall. Bits of bodywork flying everywhere. I wonder if someone's got some wheel spin off the start. There's a virtual safety car out immediately. Snacks, that poor start has cost him 5 places. He's down to 6th place right now. Followed by Kemments, Bullet, Padge, Kripik, PLATTYY, John Pack, Colucci, Greg, FB Uno, Akari's TD Runner McLuck, and Ripley. Let's have a look at any damage. Hyper has dropped a long way back. Oh, and Ripley has retired, and it looked like there's contact between Runner McLuck. I wonder if Luck accidentally pushed Ripley into the wall there. I don't know. I didn't have the best view at it. But Ripley is out. That may even turn to a full safety car. Hyper's driving around with no front wing on his car, so that is not good news for him. Still, the virtual safety car is out, and they're all bombing it down this back straight. There's the green flag. Ripley, what happened, mate? It looked like Luck accidentally just pushed you into the wall there, but I could be wrong. I didn't catch all of it. It was just kind of in my eye shot as it happened. So yeah, tell us what happened from your perspective. TD's into the pits, possibly to fix some damage. Ross leads. Jake Sharrock lost a few places in quali, but has gained them back at the early portions of this race. Mr. Wiggles third, Deflated Wee fourth, PLATTYYY, Snacks, Cammons, Bullet, Padge, Kripik are your top 10. Hyper is obviously into the pits to get a wing. Ross running away with it slightly. 1.1 second lead he has on Jake. Turned on at the start, got turned on at the start, and then Luck turned hard on me. Jake Sharrock is out. As I was reading the comment, Jake is out. Virtual safety car number 2 is out. And I'd love to be able to tell you what happened there with Jake, but I was too busy reading the comment. So I don't know if there was contact there. I think Jake possibly lost it on his own accord, but Jake Sharrock, a nightmare last 10 minutes or so for him, crashing out of Q3 and now crashing out of the race on lap 2. Virtual safety car has finished. Everyone is up a place with the exception of Ross, and DRS is now enabled. Luck is into the pits. We're 6.5 behind. Okay, so on the virtual safety car, if you don't know what that means, you have a delta that you need to adhere to, a certain time and speed you have to adhere to. You can't go faster than that. Sometimes people, if they're going too slow, it builds up, and when that happens you speed up to try and not lose too much time. Sometimes you do find yourself a few seconds over the delta, but sometimes it can be a game glitch. For those at the front it might have been normal delta, but for those at the back it would have been quite slow. Yeah, very unfortunate there, Ripley. Always frustrating when you crash out. Ross leads Mr. Wiggles by 1.2 seconds. Mr. Wiggles is defending from Deflated Wee, but Deflated Wee is defending harder from PLATTYYY behind. And we got Snacks, who is back into DRS range on PLATTYYY. Bullet is in 6th and has Cammons for company on his engine. We got Padge defending P8 from Two of the Davidsons here tonight, Kripik and Bloisy. John Pant is also on the back of those three drivers. Let's see, having a look at the inside of Deflatedwy, but there's no point going for a move in Parabolica, because he's just going to get the DRS after, and I believe the rain has just started to fall on our screens. Rain is falling. Lap 5. Deflatedwy managing to stay ahead of Platty. How heavy is this rain falling? It's just early stages at the moment. Could easily get heavier in the next few minutes. Your post clips if you want more info. I might have a look in a bit, just depends on how the race is going. Padge has been overtaken and is dropping places and has a 10-second time penalty for cutting the track. So I wonder if Padge has made a mistake at turn 4 and gone over that right-hand part of the track to let drivers through. Padge does do that sometimes. If he's made a mistake, sometimes he'll let a driver through. And the heavier this rain gets, DRS might be disabled in the matter of laps. So it might be really important here to make the most of the DRS while you still have it. Try and get a move done on your rival. Looked like Platty was baiting someone into the pits there. So didn't quite work. Not ready for inters. I don't think the track is at this moment in time. Lap 6 of 27. Ross leads by 1 second. Mr. Wiggles slowly starting to put the hammer down and try and get back within DRS range of our race leader. Mr. Colucci is the first into the pits on the intermediate tyres, as Mr. Wiggles has made a mistake coming out of turn 5. Deflatedwy is up into second place now. And Padge has also joined Colucci in going onto the intermediate tyres. We have to really keep an eye on their delta now and see if the track is ready for the intermediate tyres. Mr. Wiggles back up into second. Padge and Colucci coming out of the pits as we speak, and Mr. Colucci getting a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. So I wonder if he's gone straight over turn 1 there. And this is very close here between PLATTYYY and Wiggles. Who out of these three is going to be the first to pit? Neither of them pit. Platty is super close to the back of Deflatedwy's Aston Martin, as Ross capitalising on this and extending his lead to 2 seconds. Deflatedwy, a little bit of contact there with Wiggles. It looked like maybe there wasn't enough cars width on the inside there for Wiggles, but have to wait and see. Mr. Wiggles, meanwhile, has lost a couple of seconds due to that. Snacks is now up into 4th. Kripik now into the pits for a set of intermediates too. Drivers perhaps gambling at this stage in the race, or preempting what is to be a big flurry of rain in the next few moments' time. Luck and Bullet both picking up 3-second time penalties in the opening third of this race. Wiggles running wide, you saw just in the background there at Ascari. Kemets is through and up into 5th, and Bullets looking for a move on the pair of them. Is Wiggles going to pit this lap? Yes, he is. So Mr. Wiggles is the first of the top 10, and Run-a-Muck Luck is out. Safety car is out. There is where Luck has crashed. He was using slick tyres, so I wonder if the track is ready for the inters. Mr. Colucci has lagged out and his AI has pitted him. And it's pitted him onto the softs. FBU now into the pits, gets a 5-second penalty for speeding. And he's set the inters on his car as well. The question will be for Ross, is the track ready? Safety car is out due to Runner McLuck's early crash. His lead of 2 and a bit seconds is now gone. More importantly, will they pit? Hyper is into the pits. TD's got a set of inters on 2. In comes Ross and Deflated-Wy and Platty and Snacks and Kemments and Bullet. What about Bloisy? I think it's probably everyone in for inters. In comes Bloisy from 7th, John Pant from 8th, trying to bait a car race to stay out. Mr. Wiggles, who stayed out there? Greg has stayed out on track on slicks. Interesting here. So Greg has the lead of the race. Deflated-Wy and Snacks, by the way, have not pitted for inters. They've got mediums on their car. So I wonder if they've had a slight error on the MFD and have wanted to go for inters but have pressed the wrong direction. Is easily done. This race heating up, but in the opposite way. It's cooling down. Obviously we don't know what the weather's doing. We don't know if the rain's going to get heavier, if the rain's going to subside. Greg could be having a great decision here. If the rain doesn't get heavier, might actually be a good call to stay out on the dries. But everyone, Padge is now back onto the mediums, so I wonder if this rain was just a little flurry and it's actually not sticking to the ground that much. It could easily be at a crossover point where... Oh, and Kripik's out. What's happened with Kripik? He's crashed just before the final corner. Snacks is now back onto the mediums. So everyone saw the rain and thought, put inters on. Was it the right thing? In fact, Snacks, sorry, was already on the mediums. He's now pitted for inters. Sorry, your Wi-Fi went. That's unlucky, mate. That's unlucky, don't worry about it. So Mr. Colucci is a lap down. Fortunately, he won't be let through. So, if Mr. Colucci is going to get points, he needs to either unlap himself and show extreme pace. Oh, and Bullet off the track into the wall, trying to warm the tyres. Slight mistake, and some bunching up. What's going on here? I think some people may have got illegal overtakes. Trying to overtake Bullet. Bloisy letting Bullet back pass. Wiggles has a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flag. I wonder if he's overtaken Bullet once Bullet's off the track. So Wiggles might be able to get that removed. So I'm not sure there's anything Wiggles could have done to avoid Bullet. Safety car remains out and drivers are coming into the pits. Greg in, Deflated Wee in, Bullet is in to fix damage, I assume. Yep. And Greg and Wee are onto intermediate tyres, so that decision wasn't the right thing to do. As a result, they have dropped down to 11th, 12th and 13th. All of a sudden TD is now in the top 10. Shows you what a safety car can do to your race. And everyone, I'm sure, watching this at home will be screaming for the safety car to come in at the end of this lap. Lap 11 of 27, still plenty of racing laps left, but we are very eager to get back underway. Padge is the last of the non-lapped runners. Just coming through turn 3 now, should be able to catch up in time. Safety car is in this lap, so Padge has a job now to get into the back of the pack before safety car comes back into the pits. Bullet, after his pit stop, is now up to the back of the train. Hyper and Padge have a bit more catching up to do if they want to do the restart behind their peers. Ross is now the effective safety car. He chooses when to go out of the final corner. Looks like he's gone for it now. Oh, a bit of a slide, corrects it. Someone is off. Wiggles is off. Just saw a car going off in the background. Wiggles is round. Dropping places. Wonder if he has damage. Just shows you how difficult these conditions really are. Ross, Platty, Kemmets, Bloisy up into 4th place now. Safety car has really helped him out. John Pant, Akaris, FBU no. Deflated Wee on Snacks, what's happened to him? And TD, both of them falling down the order. I think a collision at the exit of turn 1, it looks like. Plenty of moves happening behind us. John Pant is losing out places now. They're all dropping like flies. Lassie, meanwhile, is past Ross for the lead of the race, and I wonder if Ross is struggling on these tyres. He's under massive pressure now behind from Kemmets. Sometimes it just takes a couple of laps just to get used to the rhythm of the intermediate conditions. Of course, no DRS while the rain is falling. We'll just confirm that as we come down the main straight. Yep, no DRS. Just relying on your overtake button and good traction out of corners. TD and Wiggles into the pits, so both of them have some kind of damage. Platty leads from Ross, Kemmets, Bloisy, Akaris, Deflated Wee, FBU no, Greg Bullet and John Pant. Drivers are struggling in these conditions. Started off dry. Ripley, Jake Sharrock. It's Kemmets we see driving without a helmet. Don't try that at home, kids. Ripley and Jake Sharrock in the first couple of laps unfortunately biting the dust. Ripley had some contact at the very start into the wall on the pitch straight, and some contact with Runner Luck under VSC. That's what led to his DNF. Jake Sharrock on lap 2 crashing here at Scari. Runner Luck retiring a few laps later, and Kripik crashing out. Wi-Fi went in the end. And then the rain started to fall under the safety car. Everyone boxing for intermediate tyres. That's a short overview of the race so far, Adrian, especially for you. So Ross, after what looked like a tentative start on the restart, seems to have found his rhythm. Maybe Platty having a dose of tentative driving at the moment. High pit into the pits. PLATTYYY past Bloisy, who I think is lagging. Keep an eye on it from Wee's angle here. But PLATTYYY looking to get into the top 4. That's Bloisy, who the safety car has really benefited. Bloisy, he was towards the lower end of the top 10, possibly even out of the points. I think Bloisy's connection is not helping him out at the moment. Bullets into the pits, and he speeds where he gets a 5-second penalty. Oh, and contact, perhaps? No? Ghosted? What is happening between Wee and Bloisy? All of a sudden, Bloisy's down to 8th. Oh, and Bloisy is off. Does he have damage? Doesn't look like it. He's got a penalty for cutting the track. Bloisy's connection is perhaps letting him down slightly. Either way, PLATTYYY, Akari's, FB Uno, Greg, upper place. PLATTYYY now has 5 seconds to gain if he wants to challenge for a podium. Back with the 3 leaders then. Platty, Ross, Bullet has retired and he's crashed at the exit of turn 1. That's going to be another safety car. Will people pit for a brand new set of tyres, or will they stay out? The top 3 are all staying out. What about PLATTYYY? He's staying out too. Hyper's in the pits. Akari's comes in. FB Uno stays out. Greg is in the pits too. John Pan stays out. Bloisy into the pits too. Alpine double stacking with their 2 drivers. Snacks, after a rough stint in the middle portion of this race, now finds himself in 7th. And at 20 seconds or so he is currently behind the race leader, is about to be wiped out. Patch staying out too, he's up into 8th place. Akari's pitting. Brand new set of inters for him, he's the highest one up on a brand new set of tyres right now. Finds himself in 9th place. Greg in 10th, rounding up the points. Bloisy, TD, Wiggles, Colucci and Hyper back in the race, although I think Colucci and Hyper are lapped. We'll just confirm. Yep, so can confirm Colucci and Hyper are lapped. So if they want points, they need to hope that about 5 people ahead of them need to retire. Wiggles has been thrown a lifeline. A couple of incidents in this race. This is, of course, where time penalties come into play. FBU with the 5 seconds. Padge with 13, one for track limits and another one for cutting over a portion of the track around turn 4. Loisy has 18 seconds and Hyper has just joined penalty gang. This time a drive-through for speeding under safety car delta. Padge into the pits for a new set of rubber. TD up into 11th. And Hyper is round at turn 1. Oh. TD close to losing it there, but does well not to. Padge has had an issue as well coming out of turn 2. He's lost the place to Mr. Wiggles. Just lagged out, said Padge. Fingers crossed he can get back in time. Lap 17. Make that 18 of 27. Actually, no, still lap 17. Safety car conditions. The rain is falling. Intermediates are on the car. Classy, Ross, Kemmets and PLATTYYY have a good chance at a podium, but only 3 of those 4 can make it at this stage. FBU has the penalty, which will set him 5 seconds at the end of the race. John Pants, Snacks and Akaris and Greg will be looking to capitalise, gain some places in the final 10 laps of this race. FPS is terrible now. Hyper into the pits, where he retires. Safety car should be in at the end of this lap, just waiting for Padge to join back of the train. Connection okay, STD? I think it's been okay. A couple of slight twitches here and there, but nothing I don't think to worry about. Obviously, now you are on the cusp of the top 10. Yeah, slight twitch there, but nothing too serious, nothing to worry about, I don't think. Safety car will go again. Padge not quite at the back of the train on lap 18. So here is your position change of all the drivers from the start of the race. PLATTYYY is leading, started in 6th, so he's now up 5 places off the start. Ross is exactly where he started, has been flirting with the race lead for a long point during this race, so don't count him off yet. Kemmets is up 4, PLATTYYY has gained a place, FBU staying out, and other people's mistakes. He's up into 5th place, up 12 places off the start. Nice from him, but does have that 5-second time penalty in the bank. John Pant is up 8 places from his 14th place grid slot, where meanwhile Snack's early incident set him to the back of the field. There or thereabouts. He's recovering, now up into 7th place. Garis is up 7, Greg up 4, Bloisy up 2, but has a lot of penalties. TD is up 8 from 19th on the grid. He has 3 seconds to worry about at the end of the race too. Mr. Wiggles, Padge, Colucci losing out off the starts. So there you have it. The top 7 have stayed out under this safety car, so they are going to be slightly worn, those intermediate tyres. Caris, Greg, Loisy and Padge and Colucci at the back have the newest tyres on their car. And we are ready to get some racing back underway. Platty comes around the final corner. I think the game has halted its progress. Have a glitch there perhaps. Platty starts lap 20 of 27. They're super close to top 5 coming into the first corner. And it is like supermarket sweep at the moment. Everyone jockeying for position, going down the inside. John Pant is past FB Uno as Platty escapes the wrath of the 13 cars behind him. Maintains his race lead out of the first sector. Greg and Bloisy, teammates duelling at the moment. Bloisy losing places. Wonder if there was some contact between the two Alpines. His top 3 dropping comments a little bit. Remember, these 3 are the 3 title contenders at this moment in time. Their order come the end of the race could be critical as to who is leading the championship at the end of today. TD dropping places. Greg also dropping places. Wiggles is up to 9th place now. Nice restart from him. Platty with a small advantage. FB Uno is either out or going very, very slowly. Colucci retires in the pits. He's a lap down, so thinking it's not quite worth carrying on, but FB Uno has dropped to the back of the field now, down to 13th and out of the points. Both Alpines now occupy points scoring places. Kari's a little bit too hot into turn 4. Had to slow the car down. Keeps his 7th place under lock from Mr. Wiggles, but this is now going to release Snacks into a bit of free air, where Snacks can hopefully, from his perspective, try and gain that gap on John Pant, who is having a good result up in 5th place right now. Still, we don't know how this race is going to finish. The top 8 all don't have penalties, which means track position is now critical. No DRS, of course, in wet conditions. It's all down to driver skill, and of course, a bit of ERS wouldn't help you wouldn't hurt you at all. So far, 7 different constructors in the top 7 places. Nothing really to separate the constructors' battle. As once again, Bloisy and Greg side by side. This time Bloisy get past his teammate. Down into turn 1. And Mr. Wiggles capitalising. Ikari's not the best exit from turn 2. Wiggles says, oh, I'll have that one, thank you very much. Up into P7. Top 3 still separated by almost nothing. And FB Uno has pitted onto the soft compound tyres. Excuse me, Mr. Wiggles demonstrating why he's really good at Dirt Rally 2.0 with a nice slide there through the first Lesmo. Wonder if FB Uno, that's an inspired decision or a bit of an off decision. We'll have to wait and see. Boise and TD having a nice little fight. Oh, very close. TD looked like he's lagging. Boise looks like he's lagging. Can't really tell at this moment. But Greg and Padge on the back of this train of 4 cars now. Top 3 as they were. Platty leads Ross, leads Deflated Wee. Uno has retired and has crashed out on track. There's a full safety car, and those soft tyres did not pay dividends for FB Uno. As a result, full safety car is out, lap 23. So I imagine this safety car will be in at the end of lap 24 or 25, which means we may only have 2 or 3 racing laps now. Snacks has rear wing damage. That is not ideal. Currently in 6th place. Not too bad considering where you were early race. And a couple of people questioning FB Uno's decision to go onto soft tyres. He was at the back of the field, so I guess it's worth a Hail Mary attempt, but obviously if the track isn't ready for it, that kind of crash is inevitable, and it's brought out a safety car here. This is where penalties come into effect. Get the assumption at this point that Boise will drop either below Greg or below Padge, so TD and Greg may get some points here on penalties if they can avoid crashing or making a huge mistake in these final few laps. Everyone else keeping it clean, no time penalties for the top 8. Might be able to get 10 seconds removed, says Padge. Have to wait and see. With the extra 3 seconds you've got, I think you need to overtake TD on track if you want points tonight. TD has lagged out, or has just pressed leave like he did earlier on. Lagged out. Well, you might be able to get in before the safety car comes in. Safety car hasn't told us it'll be in this lap. This is the first lap of the safety car being out, so sometimes it doesn't come back in on the same lap. And I think TD's been thrown a lifeline there. He might be able to get back in to his car. With some people lagging out as well, we do need to keep an eye on the end of the race results. Sometimes if you lag out and come back in, it gives you what we call a phantom penalty. A penalty that drops you below another driver, but actually you didn't get that penalty. John Pant is into the pits. I wonder what John Pant is going to be doing. Is he going for slicks? Yes, he is. Soft compound tyres for John Pant. This either could be a very silly call or could be a very, very clever call. Come on board with John Pant as he exits the pits just to see what the conditions are like on those soft compound tyres. Struggling to slow the car into turn 1. Might not be the best call. Struggling to put the power down, very tentative. Sliding, track looks very greasy to me. But of course, we know how quickly sometimes the track can change. This lap might be a good opportunity to get his soft tyres up to temperature. Of course, even if he's slow for this lap, but everyone else pits on lap 26 or 27, John's going to gain 20 seconds on the pack. But we'll have to wait and see how this develops. Safety car is in this lap, no surprise there. Can't join. I'll quickly invite TD. Try that, TD. John Pant, time penalty. That's the last thing he wants. The pack is getting ready to go racing again. John Pant, meanwhile, is still just catching up to the back of the train. Stop raining, says Padge. Track is still greasy though. Platty restarts this race. Top 4 separated by a second. Platty, Ross, deflated wee. Kemmets, Ross is alongside Platty in a move similar to Hamilton and Verstappen. Mr. Wiggles is round and looks like perhaps some contact into turn 1. John Pant with a time penalty. Akari's also caught up in that incident. He's dropped to the back of the field too. John Pant really struggling with traction. Losing out to Mr. Wiggles now. Looks like that call to go on softs was perhaps the wrong one. Fight for the lead is between 6 cars. Although Bloisy has a 5-second time penalty. Was it 5? I think it's more than that. 18, sorry, my bad. Oh, and Kemmets has lost it. Kemmets out of a scurry. The latest driver to fall victim to the conditions. Kemmets, strong race from him. But another late incident for Kemmets is going to cost him some good points here tonight. I believe it happened on Tuesday night, as here comes deflated wee now. Braking later than Ross. Bit of slight wheel contact, very similar to Hamilton and Verstappen. Both drivers get through there. Deflated wee trying to put that pressure back on Ross, trying to put the power down as quickly as he can. Will he go for a move down the inside of turn 4? Yes, he will. Has he broken too late? Side by side, seem to get through there okay. Deflated wee, half a nose in front. Still side by side. Deflated wee trying to stick it around the outside, and he's ahead. Given the circumstances and the conditions, I'd have to say that could have gone either way. I think that was a pretty good move there from deflated wee. Ross is fighting back. Meanwhile, Platty, last lap of the race. He is leading by 1.2 seconds, and bar a mistake, he is going to win. It's going down to the line. Platty coming around the final corner, deflated wee pushing hard to try and close that gap. But in the end, Platty, it's been a great race from him, and he takes the checkered flag at Monza. Platty wins, deflated wee and Ross on the podium. Snacks, 4th place. Very good recovery from where he was earlier on. Greg always seems to find a way to gain places at the death. He's now up to 5th place, Mr. Wiggles. Nice recovery up to 6th. TD on his return to racing, even with some internet issues, has finished in 7th. Bloisey on his debut finishes 8th. And didn't have time to read out the rest. So we have it Padge in 9th and Clements in 10th after that late spin. Rounding out the points, Akari and John Pan. John Pan, softs right at the end, wasn't the right call, I'm afraid. But apart from that, he was having a really good race. So kudos there. FBU note, Mr. Colucci on his debut. Hyper, Bullet, Kripik on his debut. Brennan Luck, Jake Sharrock and Ripley not finishing here this evening. Well, driver of the day is going to be an interesting call. Obviously, the safety cars shaped the race and twisted and turned things. Obviously, without those safety cars, a lot of drivers wouldn't have got points that perhaps are in the points tonight. People like Bloisey with penalties, TD with disconnections, that kind of thing. Wiggles not been for a couple of incidents in the race. He might have been up there challenging for the podium too. Obviously, those top 3 are the main contenders. I think we are going to give it to Platty. Not only fastest lap of the race, winning the race, maintaining first on safety car restarts from behind, battles from Deflated Wheat and Ross. I think Platty proved his worth here tonight, showed his mettle, and well deserved not only win but driver of the day. Congratulations to Platty. So there you have it. Patch. Congratulations to Bloisey, who's now scored more points than Hyper entirely. It's an ongoing joke between me and Padge about Hyper. But that is gonna conclude it for the stream tonight. What a race! I mean, the changeable conditions, the safety cars. You never knew who was going to win that race, and Platty holding off Deflated Wheat and Ross. And I'm just going to do some quick calculations. Platty is... okay, so this is very tight now. Platty and Ross are level on points going into Japan next week. I believe Deflated Wheat is only 3 points behind the pair of them. So 3 drivers separated by 3 points at the top of AT1. You do not want to miss the next 4 weeks in AT1. The next 4 Thursdays, 7:30 PM GMT. Join us for the streams to conclude what has been a truly fascinating title battle between 3 drivers. Join us on Saturday night for F2 and Sunday night for AT2. As for me, I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. I have a nicely deserved holiday, and someone else will be doing the streams for you on Tuesday and Thursday next week. So, for a couple of weeks, peace and have a really good one.